Lo que el café sin azúcar hace a tu circulación después de los 60 y por qué nadie te lo dice. The simple act of enjoying a morning cup of coffee, a ritual ingrained in the lives of many, is often accompanied by a chorus of warnings, especially as we navigate the years beyond 60. Whether it's a single cup or several, accompanying breakfast, a post-meal lull, a visitor, or an evening news bulletin, coffee has woven itself into the fabric of our daily routines, our cultural landscapes, and our very ways of initiating the day. It's almost a certainty that at some point, a well-meaning voice, a doctor, a child, a concerned relative, or even a television program has advised against it, citing concerns about elevated attention spans, potential harm to the heart, or unsuitability for mature ages. However, what science has uncovered in recent years about the profound impact of unsweetened coffee on blood circulation, particularly in individuals over the age of 60, presents a stark contrast to the prevailing beliefs of just 2 decades ago. This new understanding is so compelling that even medical professionals who once firmly prohibited coffee for their patients are now compelled to reevaluate and potentially revise the advice they have dispensed and the knowledge they themselves acquired. Yet, within this evolving perspective lies a singular transformative condition, a solitary differentiator that separates the coffee that nurtures from the coffee that harms. And for those over 60, this condition assumes a significance that is more paramount than ever before. Stay with me until the end of this discussion, for the insights we will explore today have the potential to liberate you from an entirely unnecessary burden of guilt, or to illuminate a crucial area that requires immediate modification in your daily habits. I am Dr. Movimiento, a medical professional with over 25 years of dedicated clinical experience, focusing my practice on cardiovascular health and the holistic well-being of older adults. It is with absolute honesty that I can attest to coffee being one of the most frequently recurring topics within my consultations. Patients often enter my office, settle into their seats, and before articulating their primary concerns, they voice a question tinged with a degree of apprehension and at times embarrassment. Doctor, may I continue to drink coffee? This question is frequently laden with a palpable sense of guilt, a glimmer of hope, and an undercurrent of fear. Today, I intend to provide a response grounded in both scientific rigor and unwavering honesty. However, before we delve into the specifics of coffee, it is essential to grasp a fundamental concept, one that holds profound relevance to the physiological processes occurring within the bodies of individuals over 60, and a concept that is regrettably seldom elucidated with clarity during medical consultations. The cardiovascular system in individuals over 60 years of age undergoes significant transformations, diverging considerably from its state in one's 40s. Arteries progressively lose their natural elasticity. The delicate inner lining of the blood vessels, an exceedingly fine tissue that serves as their protective barrier, experiences a decline in its capacity to generate vital protective substances. Furthermore, the heart's functional reserve diminishes. Crucially, there exists a specific facet of vascular aging, one that is rarely explained to patients but is absolutely central to comprehending why coffee assumes such importance. This facet is the presence of chronic low-grade inflammation within the blood vessels. As the years advance, the arterial walls gradually accumulate a state of silent inflammation, akin to a slow-burning ember that smolders imperceptibly without overt symptoms or pain, yet steadily contributes to the hardening, thickening, and internal deterioration of the vessels over time. This state of vascular inflammation is a principal driver of cardiovascular diseases, particularly in older adults. It is precisely at this juncture that unsweetened coffee emerges as a surprisingly potent ally, Among the vast array of foods available in the human diet, coffee stands out as an exceptionally rich source of antioxidant and anti-inflammatory compounds. A single cup of coffee can contain upwards of 1,000 bioactive compounds. Among the most significant of these is chlorogenic acid, a polyphenol whose antioxidant and anti-inflammatory powers have been rigorously documented in dozens of scientific studies. However, the efficacy of these protective compounds found in coffee operates in a markedly different manner, depending on the presence or absence of added sugar. And this distinction, this singular difference, forms the pivotal point of our entire discussion today. The initial effect of unsweetened coffee that I wish to elucidate pertains to its influence on the innermost lining of your blood vessels. Consider it in this way: within every artery and vein in your body resides an exceptionally thin layer of cells that lines the vessel from within. This layer is known as the endothelium. It functions much like the inner lining of a pipe. When this lining is intact and smooth, water flows unimpeded. However, when it begins to deteriorate or develop cracks, water can stagnate, leading to blockages and the gradual obstruction of the pipe. In your body, when the endothelium is healthy, blood circulates freely. Conversely, when the endothelium becomes damaged due to inflammation, high blood pressure, elevated blood sugar levels, or tobacco use, fat, calcium, and cellular debris begin to accumulate, forming the atherosclerotic plaques that obstruct the arteries. This condition, known as atherosclerosis, stands as the leading cause of cardiovascular mortality. A comprehensive review published in the scientific journal Nutrients, which meticulously analyzed over 20 distinct investigations on this topic, concluded that coffee demonstrably improves endothelial function in the majority of the studies examined. Coffee actively assists in maintaining the integrity and optimal functioning of the inner lining of your arteries. Furthermore, a groundbreaking research study conducted with healthy volunteers provided the first empirical evidence that caffeine present in a single cup of coffee enhances the function of the microvasculature, those incredibly tiny blood vessels responsible for delivering blood to the body's most remote tissues. We are referring, in particular, to the vessels that supply blood to the extremities, such as the fingers and toes, as well as vital organs like the kidneys and the retina of the eyes. These are precisely the structures that individuals with already compromised circulation, often encountered in older age, most critically need to protect. And this is where the transformation specifically occurs after the age of 60. Because the endothelium in older individuals is inherently more susceptible to damage due to the natural aging process, any factor that offers protection exerts a proportionally amplified positive effect. Consequently, older individuals stand to gain substantially more from the protective compounds present in coffee and have considerably more to lose when these beneficial compounds are neutralized by the addition of sugar. Allow me to illustrate this with a real-world example from my own practice. I had a patient, Carmen, a 72-year-old retiree, who presented with persistent complaints of perpetually cold hands and feet, even during warmer months. The extremities of her toes felt like ice. Diagnostic tests confirmed a notable impairment in her microcirculation. Among the various lifestyle modifications I recommended, one of the simplest was to transition from the coffee she had consumed throughout her life, typically with 3 heaping spoonfuls of sugar, to a simple black coffee, entirely devoid of any additives. Upon her return to my office 3 months later, she expressed her delight with a smile, stating, "Doctor, my hands are finally warm." While I readily acknowledged that this improvement was not solely attributable to the coffee, as we had implemented several other changes, the role of unsweetened coffee in her recovery was undeniably significant. If you find this information valuable, I encourage you to express your appreciation by clicking the like button and subscribing to the channel. Each week, I deliver scientifically backed information meticulously tailored for individuals over the age of 60. Activating the notification bell will ensure you don't miss out on any future content. The second key effect of coffee is perhaps the most surprising, and it directly addresses the question that almost every one of my older patients eventually poses: does coffee truly raise blood pressure? The honest and nuanced answer is, it depends, and this nuance is of considerable importance. When an individual who is not accustomed to regular coffee consumption imbibes a cup, their blood pressure may experience a slight elevation within the initial few hours. This is a genuine physiological response, occurring because caffeine temporarily causes vasoconstriction, narrowing some blood vessels, and stimulates the sympathetic nervous system. However, in individuals who consume coffee on a regular basis, this effect largely dissipates. The body develops a remarkable tolerance to caffeine within a matter of days. The receptors that initially responded intensely to the stimulant begin to react with significantly reduced sensitivity. It is akin to the experience of someone trying spicy food for the very first time. It can seem unbearable. Yet, by the 10th encounter, the sensation is barely noticeable. Harvard University, after conducting a thorough analysis of this subject, arrived at precisely this conclusion. Coffee can indeed elevate blood pressure in individuals who are not habituated to it, but it does not cause a significant increase in those who consume it regularly. A longitudinal European study that tracked over 100,000 individuals for a decade concluded that habitual coffee consumption did not lead to a sustained increase in blood pressure over the long term. Furthermore, a meta-analysis published in 2023, which synthesized data from 25 distinct studies, discovered that higher coffee consumption was associated with a 7% reduction in the risk of hypertension, a reduction, not an increase. Nevertheless, there is a critical exception that warrants mention, particularly for older individuals suffering from severe hypertension, defined as blood pressure readings exceeding 160. A study conducted by the American Heart Association indicated that consuming 2 or more cups of coffee daily might elevate cardiovascular risk within this specific demographic. If you have significantly elevated and uncontrolled blood pressure, a thorough discussion with your physician regarding coffee consumption is an absolute prerequisite before making any decisions. For the vast majority of older individuals with controlled or normal blood pressure, regular unsweetened coffee does not pose the threat that we were led to believe for so many years. The third effect of coffee is perhaps the one that most profoundly impressed me when I delved deeply into this subject, and it offers a completely new perspective on your morning cup. Unsweetened coffee stands as one of the most significant sources of antioxidants available in the human diet. It surpasses even avocados, oranges, and spinach in this regard. A single cup of coffee can contain anywhere from 50 to 200 milligrams of chlorogenic acid, a figure that varies depending on the specific type of coffee and the brewing method employed. This remarkable compound possesses potent antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties, and scientific reviews have consistently linked it to protective effects on the heart, blood vessels, glucose metabolism, and even the brain. A comprehensive review published in the European Journal of Nutrition, which meticulously examined 94 studies focusing on chlorogenic acid, concluded that this substance exhibits antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, anti-diabetic, and cardioprotective properties. All of this contained within a single cup of coffee. And now we arrive at the most crucial point for your understanding, for it is here that sugar demonstrably negates all these benefits. When sugar is added to coffee, the coffee's inherent antioxidants remain present. The chlorogenic acid does not vanish. However, the added sugar instigates inflammation within the body, generates harmful free radicals, and actively counteracts the beneficial actions that the coffee's antioxidants are striving to achieve. It is akin to taking an anti-inflammatory medication while simultaneously consuming a substance that provokes inflammation. The two effects essentially cancel each other out. The coffee endeavors to safeguard the integrity of your blood vessel walls, while the sugar actively works to undermine them. Ultimately, the victor in this internal battle depends entirely on the quantity of sugar you introduce and the frequency with which you do so. Incorporating 3 to 4 spoonfuls of sugar into each of the 3 or 4 cups you consume daily over decades translates into an enormous amount of refined sugar entering your bloodstream multiple times a day. This process leads to significant glucose spikes, fosters vascular inflammation, and contributes to insulin resistance. All All of this occurs while the individual believes they are partaking in a healthy beverage, remaining unaware that the sugar, not the coffee itself, is the primary culprit behind the damage. I recall a patient, Antonio, a 68-year-old retired merchant, who consulted me exhibiting elevated inflammatory markers in his blood work, uncontrolled cholesterol levels, and unexplained fatigue. Upon a detailed review of his dietary habits, I identified his coffee consumption as a significant contributing factor, not the coffee itself, but rather the copious amount of sugar he added. He consumed 4 cups daily, each with 2 spoonfuls of sugar, totaling 8 spoonfuls of pure sugar each day, solely from his coffee. Once he eliminated the sugar from his coffee, alongside other dietary adjustments, his inflammatory markers showed remarkable improvement within 2 months. He shared a sentiment that has stayed with me. "Doctor, I thought I was drinking coffee. It turns out I was drinking sugar flavored with coffee." Sometimes, the most impactful changes stem from the most mundane, repetitive habits that we fail to even recognize. The fourth significant effect relates to coffee and the risk of diabetes, with a direct and consequential link to vascular health. Elevated blood sugar levels act like sandpaper, relentlessly abrading the interior of blood vessels, causing damage, hardening, and obstruction. This is a primary driver of peripheral arterial disease, circulation problems in the legs, neuropathy, and damage to the microvasculature. With over 5 million individuals affected by type 2 diabetes, many remain unaware of their condition until their blood vessels have been silently deteriorating for years. Therefore, any intervention that effectively reduces the risk of diabetes directly contributes to the protection of your circulatory system. And crucially, unsweetened coffee, according to consistent scientific data, demonstrably reduces the risk of developing type 2 diabetes. A meta-analysis published in Nutrition Reviews, conducted by researchers at the prestigious Karolinska Institute in Sweden, synthesized data from 30 separate studies involving over 1 million participants. The findings were unequivocally clear. Individuals who regularly consume coffee exhibit an approximately 29% lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes compared to those who abstain from it. Furthermore, for each additional cup of coffee consumed daily, this risk is further reduced by an additional 6%. And here lies a particularly important detail for our current discussion. This protective effect was observed in both caffeinated and decaffeinated coffee. This signifies that the benefits are not solely attributable to caffeine, but also to the other beneficial compounds present in coffee, including chlorogenic acid, which are responsible for this protective impact. However, a landmark study from Harvard, utilizing data from over 3 million individuals, revealed a significant decline in this protective effect when sugar was added to coffee. The presence of sugar demonstrably weakened coffee's beneficial influence on glucose metabolism. After the age of 60, when the pancreas's efficiency naturally declines and insulin resistance tends to increase, the protective impact of unsweetened coffee on metabolic health becomes even more invaluable. It provides an additional layer of defense for an organism that already possesses a reduced margin of resilience. I invite you to share in the comments section from where you are viewing this video. Please include your city and also tell me whether you used to consume coffee with guilt, believing it was detrimental, or if you always knew it was beneficial. These discussions in the comments are what make all of this effort truly worthwhile. The fifth effect is perhaps the one that captured my attention most significantly when I delved into the research, and it is directly linked to the cardiovascular health of older individuals. Moderate consumption of unsweetened coffee has been associated with a reduced risk of heart failure. Heart failure occurs when the heart loses its ability to pump blood effectively to the rest of the body, akin to a pump gradually losing its power over time. In older individuals, this is a frequent cause of hospital admissions and a significant contributor to a diminished quality of life. A study that analyzed data from 3 major long-term American research initiatives discovered a distinct inverse relationship between coffee consumption and the risk of developing heart failure. Those who consume coffee appear to have a lower propensity to develop this condition. Furthermore, more, when we examine the Framingham Heart Study, one of the most pivotal and longest-running studies in medical history, which has meticulously focused on cardiovascular health and followed families across generations, the data reveals that coffee consumption in the older population was associated with a remarkable 43% reduction in deaths attributable to coronary heart disease. That's 43%, nearly half. A substantial meta-analysis published in 2019, which aggregated findings from 40 separate studies involving nearly 4 million participants, concluded that coffee consumption demonstrated an inverse association with all-cause mortality. The identified optimal consumption level for cardiovascular protection was found to be approximately 3.5 cups per day. Allow me to share another real-life case. Paco, a 74-year-old retiree, sought my consultation following a distressing health scare. He had experienced shortness of breath while ascending the stairs in his apartment building, and his previous physician had indicated that his heart was showing signs of fatigue, with preliminary indications of heart failure. One of the initial questions I posed to him concerned his lifestyle habits. He revealed that he had stopped drinking coffee 2 years prior, having been advised by someone that it was detrimental to his heart. I explained to him that, according to current scientific understanding, moderate consumption of unsweetened coffee could indeed be a beneficial component of a heart-healthy lifestyle. He looked at me, visibly surprised. "But doctor," he exclaimed, "everyone told me to stop." I responded, "Paco, scientific understanding has advanced considerably in recent years. What we know today is markedly different from what was understood 20 years ago. You can certainly resume enjoying your unsweetened coffee." He left my office feeling considerably more relieved than when he arrived. And I will tell you this, sometimes the most welcome news a physician can deliver to a patient is that something they enjoy is not their enemy. Now let us turn to the most practical aspect. What actions can you take? Firstly, if you currently consume coffee with sugar, begin a gradual reduction process. There is no necessity to eliminate it entirely at once. Your palate will not adapt immediately, and you risk abandoning the effort before it truly begins. Aim to reduce your sugar intake by half a teaspoon each week. Within a month, you will likely be enjoying your coffee black and will be astonished. The authentic flavor of coffee, unmasked by sugar, is far richer and more complex than you might imagine. Many of my patients report that after discontinuing sugar, sweetened coffee becomes unpalatable, even cloying. They find themselves unable to return to it. Secondly, opt for filtered coffee or coffee prepared in a traditional percolator. Scientific studies indicate that filtered coffee contains lower concentrations of diterpenes, compounds that, in excess, can elevate cholesterol levels. The time-honored filtered coffee remains an excellent choice. Capsule and espresso coffees also represent good alternatives. However, boiled coffee that is not filtered, prepared directly in a pot, tends to have the highest concentration of these substances. Thirdly, moderation is key. The range of 3 to 5 cups per day is generally considered optimal according to most studies, offering significant protective benefits. Consuming more than this can lead to adverse effects such as insomnia, anxiety, and palpitations, particularly in individuals who are more sensitive to caffeine. Older adults, who often experience lighter sleep patterns, should pay particular attention to their coffee consumption after 3 p.m. Caffeine has an average half-life of 5 to 6 hours. Therefore, a cup consumed at 4 p.m. will still be actively present in your system at 10 p.m. Fourthly, if you have a known heart arrhythmia, severe anxiety, significantly uncontrolled high blood pressure, or an extreme sensitivity to caffeine, a conversation with your physician about coffee consumption is an absolute prerequisite before making any decisions. Each individual's situation is unique. While I am presenting evidence applicable to the majority of people, your personal health profile requires specific consideration. Fifthly, integrate unsweetened coffee into a broader pattern of healthy lifestyle choices. Unsweetened coffee is not a standalone miracle cure. Its benefits are amplified when it is part of a a holistic lifestyle that includes a balanced diet, regular physical activity, adequate rest, and consistent medical follow-up. It is a valuable piece of the health puzzle, but it is not the entirety of it. I wish to conclude this video with a point that I consider genuinely important. In Spain and across Latin America, we share a profound and unique connection with coffee. It is far more than just a beverage. It represents the shared moments of conversation with neighbors, the mid-morning respite at a familiar local bar, the cherished breakfast shared with family, and the restorative pause that rejuvenates our spirits. According to data from the International Coffee Organization, Spain ranks among the European countries with the highest per capita coffee consumption. Coffee is deeply embedded in our culture, our daily rhythms, and our social interactions. I am delighted to inform you, based on scientific evidence rather than mere conjecture, that this cherished tradition, when practiced correctly, without added sugar and in moderation, can serve as a genuine ally to the cardiovascular health of older adults. The next time you prepare your coffee, you can do so with a sense of peace and without the nagging guilt of potentially harming your heart. You can enjoy it with the comforting knowledge that you are consuming something that scientific research indicates is beneficial, with one crucial condition: no sugar. That single phrase, no sugar, is the key that unlocks its positive potential. Before I conclude, I have a small request for you. Do you know someone who has given up coffee because they were told it was harmful, and who now misses that moment, that flavor, that ingrained habit that was once such a fundamental part of their life? Or perhaps you know someone who consumes coffee with excessive sugar every single day, unaware of the detrimental impact that sugar is having on their circulation. Please share this video with that person right now. Information like this has the power to restore something that may have been unnecessarily taken away. Alternatively, it could provide the impetus they need for a simple yet profoundly impactful change that will protect their blood vessels for years to come. Sometimes a gesture as small as sharing a video can make a tangible difference in the well-being of someone we care about. And if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, now is the perfect opportunity. Please click like if this video has provided you with valuable insights. Leave a comment indicating where you are watching from and what your thoughts were on the content, and share it with anyone who might benefit. Here, we are building a community where information is presented honestly, practically, and always with the specific needs of individuals over 60 in mind. In our next video, we will shift our focus to bone health, exploring what silently contributes to their deterioration after the age of 60, and why osteoporosis is aptly termed a silent disease, for reasons far more serious than most people imagine. Furthermore, there is a specific food item that graces almost every table, a food that is inadvertently draining calcium from our bones without anyone realizing it. In our upcoming video, I will reveal its identity. I am Dr. Movimiento. Enjoy your unsweetened coffee slowly and with pleasure. Prioritize the health of your circulation. Take care of your heart, and most importantly, take care of those you love. Wishing you abundant health and a high quality of life.